Good morning, this is Mr. Varon with the solution to yesterday's problem of the day from May 6th. So it says Molly sings in the chorus at her school. In the chorus, 3/5 of the students are in the 5th grade and the rest are in the 4th grade. Part A, what fraction of the students are in the 4th grade? Show or explain how you get your answer. Part B, write your answer from part A as a percent. Show or explain how you get your answer. Part C, there are 35 students in the chorus. What is the total amount of students in the chorus who are in the 5th grade? Show or explain how you get your answer. So, if we look at our solutions. So for part A, we know that 3/5 of the students are 5th graders. We know that the whole chorus, which is 1, is going to be equal to 5/5. This is again a fraction of 1. We can pick any fraction of 1 that we want where our numerator and denominator are the same. In this case, I'm picking 5/5 because the denominator is 5. So in order to figure out how many 4th graders there are, I'm going to do 5/5 minus 3/5, which are the 5th graders, and that's going to equal 2/5, which is the part of the course that is 4th grade. Now, part B wants us to take our answer from part A and make it a percent. Now, we've done this before on a previous problem of the day. So 2/5 is going to actually equal 40%. Now, there's a few different ways I can find this out. We can write fractions as division. So we could say this as 2 divided by 5. Now, when I put the 2 in here, it's going to actually be 2.0 because I'm going to end up with a decimal. So I can add the decimal point and add a 0 without changing the value because 2.0 is the same as 2. So I'm going to do 2 divided by 5. So in this case, 2 divided by 5, I can't make a group, so I put an X or a placeholder. Now, if I have 20, I can make 4 groups of 5. So 4 times 5 is 20. So this is going to become 0.4. So if you look over here, now I take that 0.4, I've annexed another 0 because I'm going to multiply by 100. Now when I multiply by 100, I'm really moving my decimal 2 spaces over. So this is going to go from 0.40 to 40. So that's how I get it as a percent. Now today I've shown it also a different way by using a number line. So if we look at the number line here, done a few different things. So you have 0 to 1 whole, which again, we have our fractional amounts down here. So 1 whole we know is 5/5. And what I've done is I've separated this number line into fifths. Now a lot of kids get confused on this when they're making a number line. When you're making it into fifths, you need 5 spaces between 0 and 1. So you can see here I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces. So the first line is 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5, and 5/5. Now, since I'm trying to figure out what the percent is for the amount of chorus members that are 2/5, which is here, what I'm now going to do, I know that the whole is 100%. So if I take the 100% and I divide it by the 5, which is the 5 spaces I have between 0 and 1 whole, I'm going to end up with 20. So that's telling me that each of these spaces is worth 20%. So now that I know that each of those spaces is worth 20%, well, I know that this first line, which is 1/5, is 20%. The second line, which is 2/5, equals 40%. Our third line is 3/5, and again, 20, 40, 60, that's 60%. And then 4/5 is 80%, and I know that that 5/5, or my whole, is 100%. So if I want to know what 2/5 is, well, that's 40% of the chorus. So that's another way of showing it using a number line. And the last part is we know if there are 35 total students in the chorus. Now, in the problem, they tell us that 3/5 of those students are going to be 5th graders. Now, we want to figure out, well, how many students are in the 5th grade that are in the chorus? So really what we're doing is we're doing 3/5 of 35. Now, when we say of in math, we usually mean multiply. So really we're doing 3/5 times 35, which is the same as 35 over 1. Now, when we do this, we end up with quite big numbers, so this gets a little bit tougher for some of the lower grades. So if we do 3 times 35, that's going to equal 105. 5 times 1 is 5. Now, because this is an improper fraction, I am going to need to divide this. So I'm going to do 105 divided by 5, and I end up with 21. So that means there are 21 students in the 5th grade that are in the chorus. Now, another way of which we can do it, which some kids find easier, is to first figure out what our unit fraction is. So in this case, I'm working with fifths, so I'm trying to figure out what 1/5 of 35 is. So once I figure this out, I do 1 times 35 is 35, 5 times 1 is 5, 35 divided by 5 is 7. So that's telling me that 1/5 is the same as 7 students. So in order to figure out what 3/5 is, well, if 1/5 is 7, 3/5 would be 3 times 7, which is 21. So some kids find this a little bit easier, finding the unit fraction first, and then multiplying because you end up working with smaller numbers. Now, another way in which I did it is using a picture model. Now, a lot of kids really like this because it's fairly easy to understand. So what I've done is I've taken the 35 students and I've kind of made them and pictured them here with circles. So there are 35 circles here that I've made, and I put them in groups of 5. Now, why did I put them in groups of 5? Because our denominator is 5. Now, if I want 3/5 of the student, that means 3 out of every 5 circles is going to be 5th grade students. The ones that I'm crossing out here are going to be the 4th grade students. So if I look at my first group of 5, I'm circling 3 because I want 3 of them, and I'm going to cross out the other 2. So that means I have 3 out of 5 students. I do that for the next group, 3 again, cross out the next 2, and I keep repeating that over and over again till I've gone through all my circles. And then what I want to do afterwards, I want to add up all the ones that I've circled because these are my 5th grade students. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. So I have 21 circles, so that means that 21 students are going to be 5th graders. And if I wanted to find out how many are 4th graders, well, real simple, I could count out the ones that I've crossed out. So that's another way of doing it, and this is fairly simple for most kids to understand. So hopefully you got the same answers, and stay tuned for today's problem of the day. Have a good day. Bye.